Hey, thanks for tuning into the Weekend Rewind. Today, this week I'm celebrating the 2-year birthday of my first book, my only book at the moment. Well, I actually wrote a netball coaching manual years ago, but I'm kind of discarding that. My first proper book called The 2 Hour Workshop Blueprint. And I wanted to replay this conversation where I was a guest on Jessica Mudditt's podcast. So Jessica Mudditt is the founder of Hembury Books. So reach out to her. She's phenomenal. You can find her on LinkedIn, but she's doing some great work, has some excellent content on book publishing, book writing, all of the things. I know Jessica because she's been a freelance journalist. She's a beautiful writer. I've been reading her one around her time in Myanmar. But she was a freelance writer and was doing some work for Forbes where she interviewed me for an article about the chair that I use. That's how we met and we hit it off. Stayed in touch, and then this show happened. So it's all about how I sold 3,500 books in less than a year. I haven't checked the data, and I probably should have before hitting record. I think I've sold about 5,500. I'm going to be doing a Substack article about it this week and just getting into the data and royalties, but I think it's made over 55,000 Australian dollars, which is quite nice. So enjoy this listen, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Leanne Hughes is a strategy and teams consultant and the author of the 2-Hour Workshop Blueprint. Thanks a lot for coming on the podcast, Leanne.
Oh, anytime I get to talk to you is going to be fun. So really excited to share a bit about the book and all behind the scenes as well.
Yeah. And we first met because I interviewed you for Forbes, and I'd done a call out and I saw you, and then I looked at your website and I was like, and I had so many responses, but I was like, it has to be this person. And I just went on your website again then, and I still love it. You have the would you like it's a video, and then you can choose, would you like a coffee, a champagne, or a water? So I just had a coffee again with you because it's so fun to do. Last time I chose champagne, but now I'm not drinking. And you're just you're quite, it's sort of everywhere. You're someone who I feel you're really active. You make everything that you do a massive success, and you do it all with a big smile.
Wow, thank you. That's really lovely. And I think with the video, like, it's funny you say that because it's like in my mind, I'm like, I've got to update that video. I've got to update it. And so I think there's definitely two points of view. It's like the external perception of how you're going, and then this internal thing of like, oh gosh, I've still got to do all the things. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, you're a busy person. I would love to talk first of all about your book, like what prompted you to write it, and how long was that process from the decision of writing a book to kind of holding your book in your hands?
Sure. The decision to write a book, I have wanted to be an author for so long, And it was always the biggest hurdle was like, what do I write a book about? What do I write a book about? And it was only like a friend saw actually in New York, she sent me a voice note, and because I was just telling her about, how I'm so annoyed I'm not an author yet. Yeah. And she was like, Leanne, you've just done 200 episodes on facilitation, just write a book on that. And I think it was because everyone was telling me, the book advice I was given was write the book for future you and where you want to be. And it's like, I didn't know where I wanted to be, but I wanted to be an author. And she said, Leanne, it's a low-hanging watermelon. Like, it's a low-hanging watermelon. Like, just, and I was like, she's right. And so in terms of making that decision, I honestly, Jessica, it was 52 days from when I decided to write the book on workshops to when I first had version 1 out in California. Because I had spent 4 years talking about workshops, facilitation, running workshops for clients on it. I had the IP already. It was just around how do I create a framework that underpinned it all.
So what was the biggest blocker then, do you think? Was it psychological?
It was a decision. It was a decision on who future Leanne is. And it's like, I'm not ready to make that decision with a book, but I can write a version of what past Leanne has done, and that could be helpful for people. Because really it was like, I just want to be an author first. Now that I've done that, now I can be a bit more strategic, but I just had to get a book out. Like, it was kind of, I just have to do this.
It eats away at you, doesn't it? Until it's done. Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been out for less than a year, and you have over 100 Amazon reviews with an average review of 4.8 out of 5. How much initiative have you taken as an author to secure these reviews, and how do you think it kind of fuels sales of your book?
I've taken 100% of initiative on this. I'm not like, every email newsletter, I was like sharing reviews and saying, please review. My goal is 100. I just need, again, it's just an arbitrary number, but I feel like it creates that social proof on Amazon. And
it does.
you know, and if I have to generate the flywheel, I have to physically push this flywheel until it starts moving, I'm going to do that. And so when people wrote to me on LinkedIn about the book, I emailed them back and said, please review it. Like I was relentless. I had to ask I was going individually to asking people to review it. So yeah, it was I don't really have many KPIs in my business. I'm usually like a qualitative, does this feel good type of person. But with this, I was like, I need to create the flywheel. So yeah.
It was a great goal to have because Amazon takes note of reviews and it pushes books with lots of reviews and high scores because it wants to give its customers good books.
Yeah, well, I guess I haven't done much marketing. Like I think for the first 6 months, I was like very much like book, you know, on LinkedIn, like just talking about it all the time. But I've really sort of kind of relaxed into it now, and it continues to sell. It kind of is surprising. Like every month, I'm just earning a nice little side hustle off this book.
Amazing, isn't it wonderful?
So good. Yeah.
It's wonderful. Let's talk about your publishing strategy as well. You move blindingly fast, 52 days. Tell us about the publishing strategy.
Yeah. So I read a book called Write Useful Books by Rob Fitzpatrick. And he talks about it's called Write Useful Books by Rob Fitzpatrick. And he talks about you know, when I advise leaders and organizations on change, I'm always saying, like, if you want to get buy-in, like bring them along the journey, everyone knows this. And so the 52-day thing was all about basically just getting all my ideas out, creating a framework, and then putting it into some type of format. So I used a tool called helpthisbook.com, where the first manuscript went on there. And then I went to my email list and I invited people to be part of my workshop Wingmates community. So jump in, be part of the process, critique the book, you know, and
your street team.
The street team.
Yeah.
Now, what I was looking for with that was this is an interesting concept from Rob, was the word to value ratio, right? So I wanted everyone, like on every second page, I wanted someone to like bookmark a page and go, that was really valuable. So when I was looking through the feedback and comments, what I was looking at was, of course, like their general commentary, but I was also looking at, are they highlighting things and finding it valuable? Like every 300 to 400 words. Is there some value in here? And if not, I've got to either cut it out, move it, or do something with that. And so the commentary that's come back has been people, they send me photos of their book and it's got like Post-it notes all the way through it.
Yeah.
That was what I was aiming for in terms of publishing.
Wow.
Yeah. And also aiming to validate it. So like the reason I was speaking at a conference in California and I'm like, I am not flying to California without a damn book. So I basically had this thing. It was really, the version one is terrible. It looks shocking. But I had this company called 48 Hour Books, printed and ship it in California. At this conference, people walking past, picking it up. And so I validated the book cover and idea just by watching people grab the book. So yeah.
That's a nerve-wracking moment to be watching that.
Yeah.
Exciting, but...
Well, it was giving me some data. And
did you change the cover based on the reactions? Or
out of 4 books, it was the first one to fly off. Like it was, Gary Vaynerchuk's book was there too, and like some keynote speakers, and they just picked up my book first. So I was like, okay, I don't need to do anything really dramatically different with this.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. Big Charlie Press. Is that you?
Yeah, it's my uncle. It's my late uncle. So my mum's brother. His name is Big Charlie, and Mum always says I remind her of Big Charlie. So I wanted to kind of just as a legacy thing.
That's beautiful. I get that. And how did you find the publishing side of it? Was that a steep learning curve? Did you get some...
It was, but I signed up for online courses. I just like learning things myself. So I just think like great, YouTube and things like that. So yes, it's more time. I've also got fellow author friends. I was thinking about publishing, but honestly, it was too slow for me. I just wanted to for this first book, it was just like get it out and just do that. So it was mainly self-taught, but also listening to podcasts and
if you'd gone traditional, your book would still not be out now.
Exactly. And that would just wow. Really? That's the truth, is it? Yeah.
Someone told me the other day that it can be 12 months before they pick it up and start. They might commission it, but before they start to move on it. No, you're just not that kind of person. I'm way too impatient. Now, let's talk sales. This is amazing. Okay, less than 1 year, your book has sold more than 3,500 copies on Amazon alone, and that's generated $38,000 in revenues. Congratulations, well done. Can you give us a breakdown of your author marketing strategy?
Yeah, thank you. I didn't know 3.5 was that good? Like I thought 10K was the benchmark. I don't know, for some reason. So thank you. And a lot of self-published authors are saying it's pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So I talk a lot about the persuasion piece. So I mean, for 5 years I've built up a community based around this topic. So that was really easy for the launch part.
Yeah.
I didn't have a launch party. I was way too exhausted by the time the book came out.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't even have a party. I was just focus on behind. Like, I think I could scale more working at my computer in my spare bedroom in terms of scale. That's not saying I didn't celebrate. Of course I celebrated, but it was more like,
you didn't have an in-person launch.
No, just being strategic with my time and energy, which was kind of at the end of this process. I mean, as you know, the marketing is the heavy lift of this. It's writing becomes easier. The marketing, I guess, the marketing for me has been the big part. So, I mean, email list. I had because I'm my own publishing house. So if anyone bought the book within the first 30 days, I gave them a version of my audio book on a private podcast. So there was grab it within 30 days and I'll give you the audio version. I did quite a few podcast interviews, and I was a guest on various communities. So the talent development think tank, my friend Andy Storch has a community. The day the book was out, he's in the US. They all bought the book. And so immediately it's #1 on Amazon.com in one of those
categories. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I've got a list here. I mean, sometimes I'll even just do things that are kind of fun just for social media. So like if I'm traveling on a plane, I'll sign the book and say, hey, if I'm sitting in 12C, all right, hey, 12C, enjoy the book. And I'll put a video of me like signing it and putting it into the seat tray. And that just generates, stuff on LinkedIn.
And what people have found then sat in 12C?
No one has gotten back to me yet, but it doesn't matter. Like it's probably, it actually doesn't make, it's more the process of doing it, documenting it that people find.
Do you know what I do? Street libraries. And I take a video. I mean, not every time, but I put it in, and sometimes I'll say enjoy this copy. So it's a signed copy. I could write something that really spins the person out, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, good to see you on this street, or something really targeted.
Yeah. And then I pop it in because I see it as getting my book into circulation. If someone picks, and then when I drove past, I've done that at Westfield, and then I've driven home and gone, yes, it's gone.
Oh, you followed through and come back.
Yeah, because on my way home, I've gone, haha, because I put it cover out and it's gone. And
that's so cool. That is so cool.
Doing it on a plane is a great idea.
That's the serendipity of your book. Exactly. It's kind of just that, you want to create this energy. Once it's out in the world, it'll find its people. But I mean, yeah, like a lot of work on just like driving that Amazon, like getting people to buy in a contained period of time. I do the good thing about having a back series of podcast episodes is that on my podcast hosting platform, I can create a dynamic ad. So I can say like, hey, book's out, go to this website. And it's like a 20-second intro. And I can play that on every episode of the podcast, as a little ad insertion, which I think that's really great when you're trying to drive specific things. I've done a hell of a lot, I think, to be honest. This is not even exhaustive. It's just
my
role as like book marketer.
Direct sales, because you must be moving a lot of copies, because this is so beautifully synced to your work.
That's right. Yeah, actually, because I was like, I actually love hosting 2-hour workshops with companies, because it's like you're going from 10 to 12 and you got still half a day left. It's, whereas running like an all-week conference is kind of tough. So I've written basically a book on my favorite thing to do with clients. I was in New York last year. I ran 3 2-hour workshops, right? Just from the book.
Wow.
And so, companies bring me in, and then I'll either upsell or offer the podcast as an option within my proposals as well. But just from the authority standpoint, having a book is.
What do you mean by upselling your podcast?
Monetized. Yeah, so upselling the audio book. So let's just say I'm speaking to 300 people. I'll be like, hey, and I'll give everyone audio access to the book. Just
of those 3,500 copies, what's kind of the breakdown paperback and ebook?
70% paperback, 30% ebook.
Yeah.
And mainly US market. Honestly, it's been, I think 70 to 80% is in the US.
Have you done Amazon advertising?
Yes, just for Amazon.com. And honestly, I only targeted 2 books. I did specific targeting for manual targeting. The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay-Stanier.
Yeah.
And The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker. I think if anyone's reading either one of those two books, they're going to read my book.
Yeah. And that because, and did you teach yourself Amazon ads?
Yeah. I've just thrown in like $5 a day, and I don't do it often. Like, times I'll just run some ads, and I just taught myself. Yeah.
And does it seem to yield a good
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, what I was so fascinated by before I even did the book, like I thought I had established myself as thought leader in this market because I've got the podcast, I've got YouTube, I've got email, I've got all the stuff. No, I have just been exposed to this brand new market of people that read books that are now in that, marketing accelerant. Now they're discovering that like everything's sort of feeding itself.
Yeah.
But I honestly thought I had exhausted every person in the world on facilitation. No, the book has been. So I think what Amazon does is it through the ads and referability, it brings all these new people into my world that never would have found me otherwise.
You are a marketing genius.
I honestly enjoy marketing sometimes more than I actually enjoy doing work. So
marketing is a joyful, fun for me. It's a lot of fun, and you can see the results. It's a tangible thing.
Yeah.
But the way that you cross-pollinate your book and your services, it's so perfectly blended. Yeah. In terms, so we've talked book royalties. What about new clients?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've even just put a proposal out today, and like they're mentioning the book on the call. So whenever you meet, if you work B2B, like it's hard to uniqueness and brand are really important, particularly when it comes to sort of your value. But often, clients will seek out 2 or 3 providers, consultants to do things. But what I've noticed a shift in this year, so this has been my biggest year ever, and I think it is a direct result of the book. People are coming to me and saying, hey, we read your book. Now, can you run a webinar? Can you do this? I don't need to then market or try to convince them that I'm the right person. Like they've already done that before we've met. I've just got to
they are a very hot lead is what I say. By the time they get to you, they've already spent 5 hours in your company.
Yeah.
You've spent no time with them.
No, it's incredible. Yeah, man, Jessica, it's so good that you're helping people do this because it can change lives.
Amazing. Is there anything you've spent money on that was not a good investment for book marketing? Because there's a lot of shiny objects out there. I've wasted money.
Oh, I'm sure there's some online courses. I did, what's that? Is it Amazon Rocket? I mean, I use that.
Oh yeah, for categories.
Quite helpful. Yeah, in terms of keywords. Some bad expenses.
Not really from the sounds of it.
Not really, no. I think everything I've learned something from it all. I've learned something of what not to do.
Yeah.
As a result, but nothing stands out.
Do you use Scribe Count?
No, is that a tool to?
The total sales tool.
I have been wondering, I didn't even know that existed. I've been asking everyone, what's the amalgamator tool? What's it called?
Scribe Count.
Okay, is that expensive, that one?
No, not particularly. Not particularly. Yeah, cool. There's been some criticism of it, but just a couple of days ago, they're relaunching because there's a sort of a data issue because they are scraping all of this data to tell you your total sales. And you get an email, like I'd get an email every morning telling me how many books I'd sold from everywhere. So
that's what I want. Yeah.
Very clever. Check out Scribe Count.
Great. Thank you. That's awesome.
Okay. Do you take your book with you to events?
Yes. I have in the boot of my car, I've got books. I've always got a spare book with me everywhere. I mean, I'm lucky that it's a small enough book. It's not that big that I can do that. But yeah, I think why not? And a lot of people ask you about your book and they love it when you've got one there that you can hand to them.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
How many do you print at a time? Like, do you print through Ingram Spark or Amazon?
Through Amazon. So I want to have maybe 100 or 200 just on stock, just in case a client wants to do, a big event. Otherwise, it's mainly I will if they're overseas, I'll just do Amazon author copies directly to that person. So yeah, I want on hand 100 or 200 copies. When I did the first printout when it was released, I had 200, and that was more complimentary copies, sending copies to people like you. Yeah.
What's your view on sending your book for free to people? Do you want to keep the royalty or do you want to send your book?
It's not about the royalty. Yeah, I mean, this is about business. I'd rather they have the book and, like I said, this isn't about making money off the book. It's about generating business and not exposure, but yeah, building brand. So those are my goals.
The financial returns are in the business opportunities that it generates. The royalties are there. I mean, 38,000 is nothing to sneeze at in a year. That's amazing. But you've also, it has to be said, you have invested, I'm sure, considerable amounts. If we're talking raw profit, you'd have to take out everything that you've invested in it.
That's right.
But you're still winning.
Still winning. Yeah. And because I think as well, speed to market was so quick as well. Like it, that's time investment for me instead of dedicating to this project. That's an investment as well. Like, so the fact that I got it done quickly. My friend's an illustrator. She also helped, like all this stuff kind of contributed to it. So it was quite long. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. What do you think about the potential of future books to keep leveraging on this?
Oh yeah, like no brainer. I every day, I mean, I've got books of just cool phrases I want to riff on, and it's just, again, that question of positioning. It's a bigger question on positioning versus do I want, like, I'm definitely writing another book. It's just like, what is the topic? Yeah. And
I've seen you, which is again something only a book can do once you become an author. You're starting to launch other people's books, aren't you? And you're receiving a lot of books from people.
Yeah, all the time. And it's like, oh gosh, I do. And it's like, I've got to, post about them and support them as well. So, and just helping friends as well get through, like, what you do with people, just helping them sort of bust through and make it possible, I think.
Yeah. And that community then grows and you can lean on each other. And that community is just a great community.
Yeah, well, my friend's she's president of the IABC, so International Association of Business Communicators. So we're going to do a book fair in November. So the three of us that have published books, all related to sort of topics around change and communication. We're having like just a book fair. So we'll do a bit of pitch about our book. People can then come around. Kind of fun, right?
3 books or more books?
I think there's 3 of us in terms of our friendship group that are now first-time authors. So yeah, but I mean, I'm sure she'll be open to other ideas and other books.
But are you taking part in a book fair, like the Australian Book Fair, do you mean?
We're hosting our own book. So it's part of a Change Comms event. So they have events every month. This month will be like a book fair month. And so, yeah.
Amazing.
Really
amazing. Okay. You've had some really great endorsements for your book as well, such as Michael Bungay Stanier, who I interviewed for the BBC, and I found him delightful. What's your advice to authors about the importance of endorsements and how to approach people in the right way?
Well, I know MBS through the podcast. We met in 2019 and we're running an event in Brisbane this year together, which is great. So we've remained in contact all these years. So he was quite, I guess, easy for me to approach. But I still felt that that was the hardest part. Like I kind of delayed that so much, the outreach to people. It is really important. I mean, for someone, you're borrowing their brand, like you're leveraging their brand. And so it's important to, I guess, to target people that they don't have to be celebrities, but mainly people that are well known by the sort of parallel audiences to your book. I've been lucky, just through going to events and being visible and having my podcast, that I've had some great people on my show who do have that brand. And so I felt pretty comfortable reaching out to them. A couple of tips, I think some of them came back and said, because I sent them the book, they said, look, can you just write, just give me something to work with that I can then put into my own language and approve. So you're making it easier for them to commit. But I think it's just going in with no expectation. And one of the guys that endorsed my book, Jia Zhang, he did the TED Talk on rejection, right? So like the rejection challenge. So you just don't hold it lightly. It's not a personal reflection on you, but it is really important.
Yeah, it is really important. And did you, in terms of the kind of the language that you used to approach them, was it, I have a forthcoming book, I really respect you and I'd be delighted if you could write a couple of sentences? Or
I think it was like that. I'd have to find actually, what I actually wrote. If I knew some of them, like I just had on WhatsApp, so it was a bit more sort of informal.
Yeah, if you know them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But it was definitely, I think, whenever I do ask for something, I never actually put it into, it's never about me. I always like, hey, here's what, I'd love to expose you, like these are the type of readers that I'll get and they'll get to see your name, whatever. Not that I could offer much. I mean, It's like a self.
Well, you go very, very modestly, but I mean, you're moving a lot of books, so really, actually, there is a big benefit. So
yeah,
at the time you don't know that, so you can't go, this is going to be the biggest book of the century, and you should be involved.
yeah, and it's always like kind of you got to personalize it as well. Like for Jordan Harbinger, like he talks about communication all the time, and so when I approached him, I was like, you talk about communication all the time. I'd love an endorsement from you because this book is all about how to communicate, right? So you kind of personalize in the ask. It's not a generic,
spray and pray.
Love that. You got some great phrases today, Jess. This is awesome.
Always a journalist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, as a business owner and entrepreneur, is it better to self-publish, do you think, rather than going with a traditional publisher? What do you think are some of the biggest advantages, and are there any downsides?
I love self-publishing. I was really torn because I was like all about the ego and like getting a publishing deal, but I'm like, no, right now speed is the most important thing, I think, and momentum. And like, sometimes with timing, if you 12 months, if you miss something that's happening in the market, you might lose that opportunity.
Yeah.
So, and control over the marketing effort, right? So I'm giving clients free audio books.
Yeah.
A publisher would never allow me to do that.
No.
Like, I don't want the reason why I left my job is I'm sick of like having an overlord over me. So I want to make decisions. I want to market in my way, which is not conventional. And so I would go self-publish. Yeah, again, for sure. And plus all the profit I get to keep, like it's not going anywhere.
Well, that's the thing, because if you traditionally publish, you have to buy your book off your publishers in order to give it out for free. So there is a loss there. I mean, I know you have to pay your printing costs, but the discount isn't even very good usually in terms of how many. And then there's the thing of the speed of, well, I give them to me, give me my book.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about any downsides?
Honestly, because I was so self-motivated and had a lot of discipline about when I wanted this out. A lot of people, I think, want publishers because they want that accountability to someone else. But I think if you can just either create your own accountability, create your own maybe author communities, or work with someone like you that is maybe asking you for the deadline. I think that's probably the part. In terms of downside, I don't see a downside, honestly.
Yeah.
There's been no this experience. Maybe the next one there might be, but I haven't. Like if I just decided to do something today to market it, I can do it. I'm not seeking permission. So
it's been a experience.
Yeah.
What about bookstores?
Oh, I haven't done anything with bookstores. I heard that you can pay someone to distribute at airports.
Yeah, but it's not a great, because the pieces of the pie get smaller and smaller for the author, but naturally,
Yeah. Again, it's an ego thing. It's not about, and many of my readers, most of them are online. I mean, I'm just using the advantage of the internet to like just people buying. Amazon is the biggest platform in the world. Like if you, I just haven't felt. Yes, like I'll get a little twinge when other authors like, oh, I'm in this airport, but it's like it's not a big deal. I'm not.
Yeah. I feel similarly. Yeah. What about Ingram Spark? Your books about. Yeah. So there is the print on demand. So as what I say is anyone can walk into a bookstore anywhere in the world, in California or Tennessee, and order a copy of your book, and it shall be printed very quickly and arrive.
Amazing.
But then also they might just order online, because a lot of people like to do that. But should they wish to support their local bookstore, they can purchase your book and achieve that.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything you would do differently a second time around, looking back at the whole experience that you've had?
I don't think so. Honestly, like I just wish I'd kind of done it sooner, but I think, maybe I needed that time to just get the frustration out, and that what made me do it so quickly.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about though, in my next book, I have just exhausted my community and all my amazing referrers. Like I don't have anyone new that I can approach. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've really exhausted them for this one. So it's like either I need to get more people into my ecosystem, meet new great people to endorse it. Otherwise, I've maxed it all out for this book. So that's my only concern is like, will people actually even support the second one? Because I really sought their support for this one.
Oh, but I don't think that you can, with a new book, like it's a fresh topic and everything.
Yeah.
So they know the drill, and they do it again. You're not releasing a new book every 6 months,
no.
Every couple of years.
That's right.
You know what? You should have a launch party next time.
I will have a launch party next time. Yeah, that would have been nice.
a big fabulous party.
Yeah. I will 100% do that.
I think the social media to come out of that multiplies and is a really feel good. And for you, for all the hard work you've put in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I hosted one for a friend recently and it was amazing. I was like, oh, I really should have done this. And like, good on her for doing it.
Glory.
Yeah, I will. So maybe I figure out the launch party first and then I work back from there in terms of actually getting a book out.
I've had a client do that. She planned her launches.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first thing she did. Everybody's different. I find it fascinating, and that's been her goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. But the pressure notch is turned up to 11 as well.
I like that. I mean, I only work under pressure, unfortunately. I mean, I don't know if you're a journo. Like, I think.
No, I'm the same. I definitely need deadlines. But something that I loved doing my second book, I said to the bookstore, can I bring my first book? And they were like, of course. And I sold some copies of my first book at my launch for my second book. And I like that because having a backlist is so important as an author.
Well, it was funny. So my first book on Amazon, I wrote after reading The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss back in 2008. It was like this 50-page netball coaching manual I wrote for goal shooters, and some people have bought it. Like, you know, pretty much died in the last few years. I haven't spoken about it, but yeah, some people have bought that netball coaching manual, which is so funny because it's completely like, it's not even about workshops, but
a book is a legacy. It's a legacy piece. It lives on after us, which is just wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you planning a second book? The answer is definitively yes, but the topic is TBC.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard. Like, everyone loves this book because it's so practical, but I want to write a book around, I'm thinking around sort of influence or marketing. And I want it to be
a marketing guru. I mean, you could write a book on book marketing and I would gobble it up.
Yeah, I don't want to be a book marketer though. Like, this is it's about the identity, and I think I haven't really decided because I was like, I want to be an author for so long. I haven't really thought about what I want to be in a year or what I want to talk about. I love talking marketing. I mean, I could talk about it forever, but it's more like who I want to work with. Like,
that's what you should write your book on. But then I guess it's what aspect of marketing, because you just so much.
Well, that's it. And I think even with this book, like, I could have written the workshop playbook like easily, but it's like the reason this book is done, I think, so well, it's so precise, like the 2-hour workshop. Like, so what's the marketing equivalent of that? I haven't landed on that yet.
That's often what I say to authors, it's the 4-hour work week. I mean, you think that's ridiculous. You pick it up because it seems impossible. And that's the luring. And that is what you have done.
Yes.
And finding that it's a sort of magical of practicality and specificness.
Exactly. And I think you know, we talk about book marketing and everything I've done, but I think the like I said, the actual title and the cover has just done most of the heavy lifting, really. I'm taking a lot, but that decision, and I did test it out on pickfu.com. I tested out different subtitles, so I paid money on Pickfu.
Pickfu, can you spell that?
I think it's pickfu.com.
Okay. And you tested you did some market research on titles.
Yeah. And the clear winner was this one, Design Fast, Deliver Strong Without Stress. So I'm matching different subtitles with different headings. I picked my audience. I wanted people that had, you know, graduated university, were in the workforce demographic wise. And within 24 hours, I had the title.
Yeah. Because it does what it says on the tin, you know, really, really well. You're sort of, you're picking up what you're going to be doing.
Yes.
So very clever. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. Where can people find you and your book, Leanne?
Yeah, well, I'm always posting on LinkedIn, so connect with me on there. Website is leannehughes.com, where you can find that video that Jessica was talking about earlier. And my book website is, it's like 2hourwork.shop. And that's where you can find out more about the book.
And if people would like you to come and speak at their organisation or to host, you travel around, don't you, globally?
Globally, yeah. I was in Perth last week. I'm heading to Vegas in October, running a group red carpet experience over there. Lots of trips. That's why I do what I do. I love traveling and being around amazing groups of people.
Yeah, wow, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing all these insights. It's incredible.
Oh, thanks for a great interview. So good.
Thanks, Leanne.